Hi, this is Pam with ROC Metaphysical. In case you haven't seen any of the other videos, ROC Metaphysical, and that's ROC Metaphysical, all one word.com, is an online metaphysical magazine. And it's been around for jeepers, I think almost 10 years. And I have people who voluntarily share their articles with me. So they feel so strongly about the information that they send it to me so I can post it on the magazine. New articles come up the first of each month, but there's always updating with events and activities and advertising and that kind of thing. So it's always good to keep checking to see what's going on. So part of the magazine also does book reviews and has people who have written books who want to talk about their book, and this will be in the June issue. So this is kind of a little sneak into the book. So I've got Patty and Deb here who have written a book called Uncorked Messages. So good so far, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the first question I have is why the title? Like, I was kind of curious.
Well, there's a couple reasons for Uncorked Messages. First off, we're both out of Northeast PA. We are right in the heart of wine country, so we tied that in a little bit. And we'll get into this a little bit more, I'm sure, as we talk. But the book really deals with signs from spirit, signs from the other side. So we thought, what better way to kind of get that out there other than to say uncorking the messages from the other side. So you want to add to it?
Okay, and so these are messages that are, I guess you could say, signs.
Yes.
From spirit, and we should, clarify that some people may not understand. And I hope that a lot of people will agree that when we leave the earth plane in this, our physical body, our spirit or our energy moves on, and it could stay here amongst you, me, could be sitting in your living room. I could have spirit here in my living room, which I do. I have a little visitor, and they want to see us and they want to help us, and they want us to know maybe they're okay or they're concerned about us. So that's what I know from people who are psychic mediums and classes that I've taken, and it's my personal belief. So people may not believe that, but your book might shed light on that.
Yeah.
As to messages that come from people who have passed on. So do you have like some little stories or little teasers about some of the stories in the book?
We do, and one thing I want to say, and I'm glad that you added to that introduction. We have had some relatives who have passed away, and we definitely have got what we feel are signs from the other side that they're okay. We also are both Catholic, and we also have we draw a lot into. We've been studying and been kind of we relate to spirituality. So there's a lot of different elements of a variety of different belief systems that we sort of incorporated into one. So I'm glad you touched on that. And we certainly aren't trying to infringe on anybody's belief system one way or another. These are personal experiences that we have had that are detailed that we share. But we've got a lot of signs that have been very unique to us that we feel really tell a story and have allowed for us to heal. And we hope in time, as people read the book, they'll heal through their own reflections and experiences. So do you want to add to that or go into?
Well, this is the view of our book, Uncorked Messages. So that is what you're looking for if you are interested in checking it out at some point. Let's see here.
I'll start kind of with this. A closer look at Uncorked Messages, and this is something that we had kind of prepared ahead of time. But this, in a way, kind of goes over the different aspects of what you're going to read within the book. Orbs and photos, strange movement of objects or lack thereof, an eerie feeling on a rather perfect day that takes a turn for the worse, doorbells that ring and wind chimes that chime when no wind is present. These are just a few messages that we have uncorked with the passage of time. Check out our self-published book, Uncorked Messages, to look at each of these messages in more detail. We do touch a little bit in the book on spirit photography. We actually open with that. That's something that's been around for a long, long time. And we feel we've been able to capture photos that kind of in a modern sense show that that is still very much a part of taking photos, a part of modern day photography. Was it something on the lens? Was it a reflection of light? We touch on that in the book as well. We try to be open and respectful to everything that, there's, you've got people on one end of the spectrum and then people on the other end of the spectrum, in terms of lots of different belief systems. So we try to, we don't rule anything out. It's just,
I think just to interject that being skeptical is always good because you are trying to logically answer. And when you try to look at the logic and it doesn't seem to be logical, then you're like, then this kind of goes to, people call it the woo-woo side or, the spiritual side. But I think if you know anything about ghost hunting, good ghost hunters do like a police investigation because they're trying to remove all aspects of normal occurrences. So I think that's great.
Yeah. I think too, with the photography, we've incorporated a lot of it on the pages inside our book. So it kind of helps tell our story as well, which is kind of cool. So if you are skeptical about it, we kind of say, well, check out this photo. I mean, this is what we're seeing. And it kind of, sometimes things don't make sense, but we happen to capture it. And then we'll think about it for a while. And then we go back to it. And then the pieces start falling together of the messages that we eventually see. Sometimes they don't come right out to us right away. So sometimes it'll be a couple weeks and we'll think about that photo we took, we go back to it, and then it kind of all starts making sense.
And so have you been able to identify or think who's trying to get your attention?
Yes, for sure.
we have had and we had the main kind of basis or our motivation primarily for publishing this book. We had a couple relatives, 2 relatives that passed away. They were sudden deaths, and the events leading up to, during, and then after, we had a cousin that passed away. We detail his story in the book, exactly what happened. And for the day he passed away and well into the fall, we would see a monarch every single day. And one of the things that I actually had in my notes that I wanted to bring up is just as kind of an example. We look at this not just as something strange that happens or an occurrence, but like a monarch butterfly could fly by and somebody could see it and go, okay, it's a monarch flying by. But somebody who's having a really bad day that's grieving the loss of a loved one could see that monarch and say, maybe that's a sign. They could be completely calmed down by that fine piece. And what we want to do mainly with our book is we want people to read this, and it's okay to find comfort in these signs. And I think that for a long time there was this, and again, not to get into the politics of it or anything, but that was something that wasn't widely accepted. But I think that's becoming more and more accepted. And if you see a butterfly and it helps you get through the day and you get the strength from that experience, we've had those experiences too. And we're saying that's okay. And we want people to talk about it. and grow and be able to get through the day because they had that experience. So that's where we get into, and we have signs from our cousins, signs from our aunt, and we actually go into detail. We can provide a couple of examples if you want us to read a few small excerpts from the book of what we mean by these signs. But if that answers that,
Well, I think got one really good one, that you even know by heart.
okay. Well, I'll say this is something, we call it Aunt Mare's knocking in the book. Our aunt had passed away. She had passed away on Valentine's Day. And this is actually, Debbie was actually with her when she'd passed, and she talks about the experience of that in the book. But my aunt was also my godmother, and she had actually passed away on Valentine's Day. A couple days after she passed away, I was having a hard time, and all of a sudden I kept hearing this knocking, and this knocking on the wall. So finally I woke up. I'm thinking, I don't know if somebody's here. I don't know what's going on. I heard the words, "I'm okay, understand I had to go." The knocking stopped. I never heard it again. So it was just kind of an eerie thing, and never really had that happen again. So
have you talked to people that are studied spiritualism and after death experiences to kind of verify what you think you saw and felt?
In some way, in general conversations, yes. We do go to Lilydale. I usually go once a year, just even to go for a walk. I haven't gone and like talk with anybody there, but I would really like to do that sometime, just to get a little more insight onto what they think might be,
Yeah, I would say I've heard people say that, and it sounds like she was like knocking on the door,
yeah,
to say, "Hello, I'm here,"
Yes.
it was
then-
like that's what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if you picked that up.
right. And then you heard the words, "It's okay."
I'm okay. I understand I had to go. So.
Right. So, I mean, I'm sure that would be quite unnerving to some people, but I think just like you have written a book about it, the more people talk about when we get messages, then I think it becomes less scary. Like it's not supposed to be scary.
Yeah. Brings comfort.
Right. And then we would realize, and then maybe you would have a totally different point of view because, you heard a knocking and you're thinking, oh my, if you watch a scary movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you think it's not a nice visit. And I know I initially, way a long time ago, I don't think I would have liked that. But now that I've taken classes and talked to people and read all this kind of thing, that now I know that they just want to know that they're okay, and they want to make sure we're okay. And I think they're having a good time.
Yes.
And from what I understand, and I don't know if you have been able to talk to people that once they have passed and gone, and again, people have to have this belief system, they saw the light and, they went to heaven or, wherever that beautiful place is, that they can come and go as they want until they are told it's time to do the next thing. I mean, I still think this is all we're learning and trying to understand, but it's so nice to know that I believe that they can come and go, especially family members that, like maybe in your case, they've gone, but maybe they haven't been able to see the new grandchild or, and so they want to still kind of be connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a great example. All right. So have you got one more little one? I don't want to give everything away in the book.
Let me think. Yeah.
We are going, I'm not going to say this on the video. We do talk about a specific instance in here though that I think is well worth the read. Something that had happened with our cousin that and again, I don't want to go into too much detail or give anything away, but we definitely there was a couple things that happened with him that it was you know, it made us really you know, really kind of wonder about this kind of a thing. And you want to talk about any other signs or
I
any
don't know.
other?
Because again, I don't want to give too much away
Yes,
either.
I know. I don't want to say too much about that.
Trying to think. I don't know if we should like talk about like this number and
Yeah,
how,
that would be perfect. Actually, that would be perfect. Do you want to
Okay.
take that? Yeah, you want to talk about?
so kind of how we released this book. It's through an LLC name that we came up with, the Spirit 432. So the number 432 is definitely a number that has kind of passed on through the generations, I guess. So our aunt that we discuss in this book, that was a number that she was related to when she was here. And then talking about kind of afterlife, I guess, her and my sister have kind of connected on the 432 as well. So that's kind of a number that we discuss a lot in Uncorked Messages. It's something that we, since she passed and going on, what's interesting about that number is the day that we released the book, our aunt had been gone for 9 years, and 4 + 3 + 2 is 9. She would have been 81 years old. 8 + 1 is 9. So there was a lot of cool relations with the number 9, kind of circling back to 432 and kind of how we kind of developed the Spirit 432 and kind of got this book out there, which is kind of cool. If you like to crunch numbers and kind of look at the meanings behind numerology. Yes.
Right. And then sometimes the messages, I don't know if they like to have us kind of have it as a brain teaser, that it may not always be laid out on a platter and say, here,
Yes.
you know, and maybe they like to watch us, you know, maybe
Yeah.
they're having fun watching us trying to figure things out.
We have a lot
So-
of fun with that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we do some of the experiences that I even had with our cousin passing away. Some of the messages that I had gotten, we kind of collaborated on, and like it was like months went by, and then we were just like, we put the pieces together on other things that we found out that had happened, and we do discuss those stories in the book. And it was just kind of interesting because it kind of kept us I don't know, kind of connected to you know, people that maybe we haven't talked to in a very long time. So I think that kind of they were trying to communicate some information to us that we had no idea was going on, and then it eventually kind of evolved, and
we found out things were going on all along, and then it was just like, wow, okay,
By
those
surprise.
signs meant something.
Yeah.
I mean, there was something to it.
So it was kind of after the fact, but we finally, you know,
Put it all
uncorked
together.
those
Yeah.
messages again, and kind of were able to learn some things that had happened and that we weren't aware of. So that's
So I'm just curious, and maybe there's really no answer to it, but you've had quite a few. So have you wondered why you've had so many messages or contact?
What's really interesting too is we focus on we focus on our cousin, who we refer to as our uncle in the book, but our cousin and then our aunt. But we also talk about our grandparents and that, and there were things that even their parents that it it's like the system is how I look at it. It just kept being carried through the generations. And then we wrote a lot of it down as time went on. And so when we were writing this, we referred to those notes, and then we were able to put it all together. But it's a system that they use. And our aunt was very clear, especially eerily so, before she passed away about 432, and she kept seeing it. And so that really stuck out to us. But it was something, even our other cousin that passed away 432 was also tied to him. So it just, but yeah, I don't know why we've gotten the messages we've gotten. I think we, maybe the difference is that we paid attention to them and we saw the
We're
symbolism.
open to it. Yeah.
And we kind of tracked it, and we were able to, we would pay attention when one thing happened, and then we'd look at maybe a couple things within a few days that would happen. But some of it's just way too coincidental, or things that were unseasonal would happen sometimes, where it's like, oh, I don't know why I'm seeing that today. It's not, based on the season, I shouldn't be seeing that or hearing that, or
Right. Well, maybe your family knew that you should write a book, and so they had put all this in place.
Yeah.
And then you two are like, wait a minute, there's a lot going on here. We should keep track of it. So it's pretty interesting.
I think we've definitely been kind of a voice to kind of put it all down, which has been kind of fun because we do work really well together. We collaborate on tons of projects. So it's just been like one more project for us to kind of take head on and just run with it. We have been excited to release it. We didn't know,
we weren't sure how people were going to be receptive,
and to our surprise, a lot of people were like, we want to read the stories, and
they're sharing their own stories with us. And I do want to touch on this too with and I'm glad my sister brought up Spirit 432. We want to, we're hoping this is the first of many books, but we want to try to do some different things with our company that's related to this, in terms of, we want to create a forum where people can share these type of stories. We want to offer more, I don't know, options, I guess, for people to get their voices out there. So, this is what we're hoping to be the first of what will be many adventures. So we definitely invite people, to check the book out. And we also have a sister company, Northeast Beachside Creations, where we share a lot about Lake Erie, which is tied into the book, and the Lake Erie Wine Trail, which we're near. But it's an adventure, and we want people to go on that adventure with us. So,
that sounds pretty exciting. I think you got some more books coming, maybe with other people contributing. And
Yes.
Okay, so more to come, and it sounds very, very interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about all the places where they can find you and the book.
Okay.
Perfect.
We are so the book is Uncorked Messages, and let me see if I can get that.
There we go.
Yeah, that's good.
Better. Okay. Uncorked Messages. It is available on Amazon if you look it up by Uncorked Messages. And then Spirit 432 LLC. We have a Facebook page. And then we also have a page for our sister company, Facebook page for Northeast Beachside Creations, and we have an Instagram page. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because we don't have a website yet for Spirit 432, but we have information about where to get the book and to be connected to Spirit 432 on the Northeast Beachside Creations website. And the book is available locally as well. By locally, I mean Erie, PA, Northeast PA. It's available in Westfield at Genres Bookshop and the Grape Discovery Center. It's available in Erie at Bull End Coffee, and on Amazon as well. And then we also, do you want to tell them a little bit about, we do some artisan markets in Northeast PA.
So at Gibson Park in Northeast Pennsylvania, they do open markets on Saturdays throughout the summer. So we are scheduled, our first weekend is Saturday, July 15th at Gibson Park. So we will also have books available there. We are also participating in the Saturday weekend of the Farmer Heritage Days in Northeast. That is also at Gibson Park. That is in August. And then in September, I think
September
the
the
weekend,
2nd, it's Labor, I think it's the
Labor
2nd,
Day
Labor Day
weekend,
weekend.
that Saturday, we will also be doing the open market at Gibson Park.
And we do that through Northeast Beachside Creations. We sell stationery, wall art. We're also going to have our book there. And if you have your copy of the book, bring it and we'll sign it for you at one of the markets. And then we do have copies available locally at the events. And then we personally have copies if people reach out to us in some way on, one of our forums that way. But it is available for order to be shipped on Amazon. And that is also on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback. So,
Well, all right. So
Yeah.
you guys are going to be busy girls.
Yes.
And then hopefully I'll see you at the expo in Erie, PA next
Yeah.
year.
We will
Because-
pay attention to that
Yes.
weekend
Yeah.
at the next one. So yeah, we
Yeah,
love.
because they just sent out the information about that. So
Oh, nice. Oh, that's exciting.
yeah, so you want to check, I forget the name of it. I'm bad and I'm so sorry. I think it's something light. And it said, I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I should have wrote it down. In Erie, Pennsylvania, it's a really, really nice psychic fair. And I encourage you to make sure you get a table there. So I think that would be a great spot for you
Okay. That's, yeah.
Good to know.
to be there and sell.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I was there with the magazine and also selling books, and I sold quite a wide variety of books. So I think, oh, we got the cat. All right, I was waiting.
Yes, our cat has joined the meeting.
Yep. So, okay, so I have Facebook, Instagram, and then in person all over, and then we're in and around Erie or Northeast Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And
Okay.
a couple of the stores are out in Westfield, New York, but they're all relatively close. So,
Okay. All right. So anything else you think we should cover?
Our website is northeastbeachsidecreations.com. That is all spelled out. So you can definitely head over there. There's links for the Amazon page for Spirit 432 on there, as well as the definite dates and locations of the artisan markets, if you didn't catch anything earlier. And then also the bookstores that our book is available in. It's mapped out on our website as well.
Okay.
do share signs and messages on our Spirit 432 Facebook page. So please check that out as well. So we're trying to add some unique things on there, and we are hoping to get a podcast rolled out in the near future as well. We've already got a guest lined up for that. We just have to set the date. So so definitely check us out on there too.
Yes.
All right, you're just like girls I like, you know. I'm not gonna let any dirt get stuck on your ear shoes.
Nope.
All right. Okay, well, we'll have this on the June issue of the magazine, and I should get this video up and going pretty soon, and you'll get a copy. So I'm going to say thank you. This was a lot of fun, and I'm so excited for you. So I hope you sell millions and millions of copies, and you'll be on Oprah.
And we want to thank you for your words of encouragement. You have been wonderful to talk with, and all of your guidance since we started talking a couple weeks ago, and for doing this for us. That we really appreciate your time. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, as long as it's fun, I'm enjoying it. So
Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to hit the stop record button. I want to thank everybody for watching the video, and let us all have great success.